Yo, guys, how you doing? This is the Tony and Dakota podcast. Today, we're going to try something a little bit different. So if you're listening to the audio, you're probably going to want to switch over to the video. This is Justin Ehrhardt. Hopefully, I said that correctly.
A little close. It's Ehrhardt, just like
Ehrhardt.
Like Dale Earnhardt, except for Ehrhardt.
Yeah, I get Ehrhardt all the time. So
he is the bearded marketing pro, and reached out to him because he filled out a lead form to be on our podcast, but also because he's part of Ehrhardt. So we have a mutual mastermind in common, and just asked him if I've seen some of his content. He does some Facebook lives, and Justin does a great job of these little niche things that you wouldn't think of. Just some good tips, some good information, just how to maximize your social media and get the most out of all the different socials. So we're going to talk about social a lot today, what we're doing well, what we're doing poorly, and how to be better. And then hopefully everyone who's listening gets some value from Justin as well. Thanks for coming on, Justin.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for having me. I really look forward to doing this with you guys. One of my favorite things to do with marketing is reviews and seeing where I can help people just make changes, and hopefully your listeners and will be able to get some value for their own sites and their own socials as well.
Love it. Just don't smash us too hard.
Don't worry. That's one of the things with it. Like I was talking, with Tony a little bit, was that, sometimes people are like, hey, can you look at my website real quick and tell me your first impressions? I'll literally turn on my screen record and click the link and just go at it. So I didn't do really any pre-research for it, because of course there's a lot of sugarcoat marketers that will like, oh yeah, give me some time to look at it first, and then they'll just like go to other people like, what sucks about the site, versus, hey, here's what I know that sites can be improved with, or how socials can be improved with, and what you can do to kind of grab that attention a little bit more. So I like doing a lot of this focus, based attention when it comes down to marketing, getting straight to the damn point, and helping people get there as well. So I don't beat people up too bad.
I like it.
Maybe we'll see. There has been some people I'm just like, because I record it first look, and there's been 2 or 3 times that I had to apologize on the recording, because I was like, damn, I was like, oh, I'm my bad. Like that's not, I didn't, it was horrible. But I don't think you guys will have horrible sites, so it's good.
Let's see.
So, all right, you want me to dive into this and kind of go after it a little bit?
Yeah.
So I just kind of click some things on the link tree and a bunch of the links we had sent. So they're all open up here, and I'm just going to kind of go through them and just see what we got. So this one is your course sign up, which I can tell is on Teachable's platform, just without even knowing what you're doing, because it has a little Teachable icon in the top left. So I don't know if you guys can change those, but just being able to change that would be one. That's the little shit that I notice, is like those icons. And I've had Teachable for some of my courses and stuff like that too. So I know sometimes they're a little finicky on it. So what I kind of do, and people in research kind of shows that people have 2 different patterns when it comes down to marketing. So I have I have 3 degrees. One of them is in business with entrepreneurial concentration, and then the other one is in marketing with social media concentration. So I kind of did not just the academic side, but the real world side too, because academic has some purpose in it as far as just the humanality of marketing, which helps a lot. And so I learned that people have 2 different I patterns. They're either going to do a Z or they're going to do an F pattern on your site. People don't read sites, they scan them. Words will do really well for search engine optimization, right? SEO. But typically, people aren't just going to sit and like read every paragraph and every text of a site. So if I typically like doing the Z pattern with when the site first loads, and that's starting in the top left and then going to the top right. And these are the first things that people see. So you want them to see right off the bat where they're at. And that can be your branding. If you have a logo, it's typically in the top left, or how you guys have it here is that it's, letting people know exactly where they're at. And then the right is typically your call to action, where you want people to see, okay, well, what right off the bat, I want to shove it in their face like, hey, my call to action, whether you take it now or not, is going to be X. It could be buy now, enroll, sign up. I typically avoid learn more because it's very vague. So I don't really have learn more as call to action. So you want to keep consistency across all call to actions as well, right? So when I come here, I see sign up is my first one, and then I come down and across to the bottom left and then go to the bottom right. So I make a Z pattern on the screen. So the middle part here, that's basically, you want to have a headline that says simply, here's what the hell we do, right? So learn real estate investing from Tony and Dakota. Okay, so I already know I'm hopefully be learning real estate investing, right? I don't want to have something on there that says learn real estate investing, that it has, learn how to create coloring books and sell them on Amazon down at the bottom. It just doesn't work. So I want to know right off the bat what the point is going to be here, because if you guys share it in a post or anything and you're saying, hey, we just launched our real estate investing courses, we have had a lot of success with our own business, other people's business, helping them invest, and we decided to launch a course to the public, and now it's available for you guys, right? So that's where you kind of put in this sub headline, you guys kind of have a little bit of a solidifying factor. So I got to learn from you. Why should I learn? Should be the sub headline. So you guys kind of hit that perfectly of saying, you've had 120 houses in the last 4 years with little to none of their own money. So, putting it in there is, I would change this a little bit. Because I like when you guys have courses for yourself, is instead of being in a third person, I really like first person, because it's also helping, instead of saying it sounds like someone else wrote it, it's, hey, here's why you should listen to us, versus someone saying, hey, you should listen to them. You're trying to build that factor why people need to listen to you, right? But you have the pretty good gist of it here. I would also change the call to action to be the same. Do I want them to sign up? Which sign up as a call to action is kind of like I'm signing a list, right? I'm jumping on a list, or I'm signing up to be a part of something, versus enrolling. If you're talking about courses, enrolling correlates a lot better. So if I'm enrolling, like, that sounds prestigious, right? Like whenever, hey, I'm enrolled in an Ivy League school, like that sounds fucking prestigious. I want to be a part of that. Sign up kind of sounds like, hey, I'm standing outside college, sign up for our, awareness sheet. You want to enroll now to be across this, because that one works a lot better. So I would change that sign up button on the right to enroll now, to also keep the consistency of it. So that's one of the things I would look at. Another thing you can do sometimes on these, because when you talk about the bottom part of a Z, if you have 3 benefits that kind of break in columns here, 3 really solid benefits that they could get, that's something I would look at too, because they come across these Z patterns. The bottom just has an empty part. So putting something in there that can maybe like, hey, here's 3 solid benefits you get from our courses. And that's kind of one of my favorite things to do, is shove that there. And then, so yeah, there could be some work on this, because it just goes to the featured course. We want to sell this a lot more. I don't know how many signups and enrollments you guys have gotten from this, but if you sell it a little bit more, you start up top where you're doing that Z pattern I just talked about. You have 3 benefits, and then I would put pain points when you start addressing, because again, people are scanning, right? They're going to scan, they're going to look at your logo or the name of it up top. They're going to look for your call to actions. They're going to scan your headline, and if they want to read it, they're going to get some good, the 120 houses kind of sticks out real quick, right? And then bam, 3 positives, and then down below, really sticking out, with the pain points that maybe people are going through. That if you have market research of why people join your courses and whatnot, kind of seeing like, okay, well, what are some of the benefits, but what are the opposites of those benefits? So if having an increased cash flow is obviously one thing from properties, you can hit on the negative cash flow or not having money, or one thing like with marketing, just like I'm sure with real estate investing, there's so many different people out there that have the secret to wealth. Just like there's a secret to marketing, apparently. I don't fucking know what the secrets are, but these people always sell them. That you can hit more of like, hey, here's the pain points. Are you tired of all these people who've never bought houses who are just selling courses? Are you tired of people who don't really get you making revenue? or whatever, just hitting those pain points and then re-solidifying the positive and then launching the course. So that way, they go through a roller coaster, right? They're going to see the positives up here of how great your course could be. They're going to hit the negatives and like, oh shit, that's so true. That's me. They understand how I feel. And then, hey, by the way, this course solves these problems by bam, bam, bam. And then get enrolled today. And that way it kind of helps seal it more versus a quick little, snippet. So just kind of setting that up, I think would be a big change on it, because you have to be able to justify the $9.97. And if you don't produce enough value in it to justify it, people will not enroll inside of it. So when they click on it, that's where you can get some more of these, which is good, where they're doing the scannable stuff. But this is where you're going to solidify why they clicked in the first place. I want to feel compelled enough that you're going to solve problems that I even want to click, enroll, and do that first. When you do go to it, that's good. You're letting them know what they're getting into as far as a course on flipping houses and wholesaling, right? So that's good. You're letting them know this is what you're going to get. You kind of briefly touch it. This is their checkout option, of course. The other thing too is make these a little bigger that are bolded. Bold works. It's really good you guys have it. Because bold, again, for scanning purposes, helps stand it out. So, and I would make these consistently bolded across the tops. But bullet points are good ways for people to scan. So that's a great thing that you guys have that, because sometimes they'll take these and they'll make these some long ass paragraphs for each one. Quick bullet points, but again, making them consistently and a little bit bigger, because they're going to say, okay, the following subjects covered in this course: marketing, sales, finding money, creating your company. This can start scaring people. So they can be like, oh, like it can go one of two ways. And hopefully even the fear does drive sales. So don't worry about that. But fear drives more than anything. You guys see that with social media, fear and negativity, it seems like. But if they start getting worried, like, oh man, this is so much stuff, then they're probably not the people for you anyways. But the fact that you guys break it down, just make it a little bit more consistent. I would bring this down a little more, kind of make it a little larger. And instead of the following subjects, I would put something that is more about them, like the X amount of ways that you can improve your business, or just something a little bit more that makes it about them. People like content that makes it feel like it's about them. When you start doing subjects, that's where I start thinking rubrics and all that other crap with school. But here's the top subjects of 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the top 7 ways you'll improve your business with our course, just something like that. But yeah, just kind of adjusting those scales would be a big thing on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then the next thing, whenever you do actually click enroll, we've noticed that a lot of people actually enroll in it. And then there must be another thing that you got to pay, because we've had a ton of people enroll and then some people don't actually end up paying. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm not sure like what the disconnect is there, but yeah, you can click that and then like you'll literally go through, make an account, and then you just still don't pay yet.
Yeah, so here is where they'll go and do the contact and then payment.
Yep.
So, and that's one of the hard things too with Teachable is that how many different
clicks away they are.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily your guys' fault. I just know how Teachable functions is that they have their paywall that's set up even after you're trying to drive it home a little more.
Do you sell courses, and which is there a different one that you would recommend?
I actually pulled all my courses, and the only real reason why is because I'm transitioning to different ones. I'm using WordPress has a lot of plugins you can use that were a little bit better than Teachable. So we're in the process of moving all that shit over, because Teachable was a good thing to get us started, but kind of hated how it was just had so many different clicks, and they don't really make it easy for people sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other program completely. Yeah, I would kind of sell it more here on there as far as what I mentioned for that. The other thing too is after you kind of finish segments is re-put the call to action there. You kind of want to keep it in their face. So click in like enroll now, because if they get stuck here and they're like, oh, where do I go? They click sign up, it'll probably go down. But if they don't have that enroll now and those texts up there, that's when they kind of can get like,
well,
I don't need that.
Yeah, that might be what they're doing then, is signing up, like you said, because like I said, what's happening is like we're getting a lot of signups, but they're not actually paying. So I think exactly like you said, they scroll down and then they hit sign up or something.
I think that sign up helps them create a teachable account within our course or something like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't actually have you pay for it there.
Just like, hey, you can
Yeah,
sign
so
up
that's exactly what happened on that one, Dakota, is that on this one, when you click sign up, they'll go sign up.
Yep.
But then they're gone. So that's what's happening. So there's a disconnect there. And I would change this button to be the enroll now button, that if they, see even that one too. So you guys got to change that to where it hyperlinks to this course.
Yep. Okay. I'll say,
so
yeah,
that's what the two button changes I would make, because they're probably signing up. When they hit enroll now, they sign up and then it doesn't usually take them back, or if it does, maybe they get lost, because again, that click pattern is a little off on them.
Yeah.
So I would have both of those clicking them to here, because when I click enroll, it'll drop me down, and then also when I click sign up on here, it'll take me down.
You think we should be able to do that from the back end to Teachable?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just go to the page and edit it, and then just change the hyperlinks on those buttons.
Yeah, I bet
that's probably what's happening.
We probably lost 5 so far. From that, because like 5 people signed up but didn't pay. I'm like, this is very weird. I was like, why would you sign up if you can't even have access to it? It's very weird.
Yeah, and that's kind of when you have the UX, so the user experience, is that people we're now turning. I mean, our generation's a lot different, especially our mindset is different. Is that a lot of the people now that are coming into early 20s, they want to like get shit one click and done. That's why you have all these, instant buys on, or buy it now on Amazon. For instance, see a product, just hit buy it now. It just charges you and ships it. So fixing those 2 buttons will definitely help. Changing these areas a little bit to make them bolded, stand up a little more, and that consistency will definitely, I think, help with that. So you have a consistent of every other that's bolded, but I would consistently create the bullet points or the subjects as the main area people look at. I like having the instructor, because that helps build a little bit of credibility, and then the curriculum, they'll be able to see it. Obviously they can preview the introductions and stuff like that. Then facts helps, but I would change these to reviews. If you have any like solid and real reviews of people, changing this to reviews, because that will help with social proof, and then they get started. And then if you have a facts, you can put it down below for that. But social proof is a big thing that seems like is missing on this exact part. I know when you go to checkout, you can put social proof in the course or in the checkout for Teachable as well, but I never did that because I wanted social proof before they even got to paywall. But so those changes, I think, would be a good thing. The initial buttons, adding some things to the homepage like I had mentioned, will be a big one. So the paywall, you can't really mess with the paywall too much for Teachable. You can have the social reviews on the side as well, which I'm not opposed to having, but I definitely would have them on here instead of the facts. So that way they can see real people, real reviews saying how this course has helped. So not horrible. I think the click flow is one thing to check on for sure, and change it up, because like you said, you're getting signups, but no, like you've had 5 people who signed up but didn't pay. That is kind of weird. I mean, it may happen regardless, but the fact that it kind of on the very first page, I think that's what kind of throws them off a little bit with that.
Yep.
So that's what I see for that site.
I like it.
That's how I usually do things, man. Just dive into it, find the problems, and then once you fix them, let me know if they work. So what is this one? This one is, so again, I'm just going off what I see. I clicked them open, but didn't read anything really. So, nice picture, you guys. We help real estate investors close more deals.
Yeah, this was sort of an affiliate relationship. It's just a CRM that we use that works pretty well for real estate investors. And they just asked us to start sharing it. And then we would get a small percentage.
Okay. Are you guys able to change these things, or is it kind of like they just have the site up where you can only do minor stuff to it?
I'm not sure.
They made it mostly. I think that they kind of like set all that stuff up. The only thing that we can do is like have our photo, obviously, and we send that to them.
Yeah, and that's kind of what typically happen with affiliate stuff is they want to control their stuff a little bit more. But I can still give a very quick review right off the bat. When I see this, we help real estate investors close more deals. I think that they're physically helping you close the deals. But when it comes down here, it goes down to you got to sign up to all-in-one built-in-one business. They don't have anything, and just my opinion of what I would change, that they don't have anything really. No, I mean, when you say it's an all-in-one software for real estate investors that requires no customization, it doesn't pass my Justin test, where is this as slow as I am that I can figure it out right off the bat.
Right.
So I don't, and this is their issue, really. I don't see anything that says, hey, we're a CRM right off it. So that's just one thing I see up. Because when you think we help people we help real estate investors close more deals. Helping is a verb, right? Like they're going to actually take action and help you close more deals. I don't think are they calling leads and stuff for you, or is it just straight CRM?
CRM.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would change that for them, but it's not your guys' fault. Industry leaders is a good thing to have. Again, that kind of builds a little bit of social proof. I can already tell I don't like their video. You got some dude just staring at you creepily. Yeah, hate it. Anyways, I do videos too, so like I'm big on content creation. So like I do a lot of videos and creating videos and stuff, and creepy shit is instantly a no. But so they have video testimonials, and video testimonials do really well because they know that they're real people saying it. So if you guys can get video testimonials, that's definitely something I would recommend to do. And get them up there. And this is for your guys' stuff too. Video testimonials, because now you can fake pictures and text on a site all day, but you can't bullshit a video testimonial. It's like, hey, this is a really good company and program, and how it's helped them and stuff. So, all right. So features, that's good. I mean, they have that pretty good, where it just basically is, here's all the good things about it, all the good stuff, But I think right off the bat, if I were to land on this and not know what they did, like as far as CRMs, I'd be very confused at first. Then you're like, I don't get it. They may click on this.
I think the good thing is, though, our hyperlink beforehand, I think at least says like get our CRM, because I think Tony made that just so hopefully they at least know what they're clicking, or they remember, hopefully. Yeah,
and that's good for that. So, all right, I'm not going to dive too much into their shit.
Yeah, no worries. Hopefully they know. Hopefully people know what CRM means.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, if they're in the business, I'm pretty sure they do. But
yeah,
it is what it is. This is from the link tree. I think this is your guys' newsletter one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's our newsletter.
Okay. So let me see. I would change the text on that, right? Because a newsletter is very boring and people don't like newsletters. And the reason why is because they think that if, you can actually put a dollar value on an email now. And people will say, well, if I get an email, it's worth about $20 to $40 per email in the long run if you have the analytics for that. But when you see newsletter, one, get is capitalized, and that's weird. And I don't know, get. I see it as yelling, get our monthly newsletter. So changing that to something that's going to be a more value driven, right? Just like how you would change this up here, think about what you guys include in your newsletters, whether it's monthly or weekly. Says monthly, obviously, but you want to really drive the value in it. So if you guys are talking mostly about real estate investing, find something that's catchy that people will want to sign up for it. So if you know that they're going to trade X amount of dollars and like subconsciously for them for their email, why would they want to do it? So creating value inside of the newsletter sign up is the big thing, even still just to get an email from them. So having them do that would be a big thing as far as, you know, what do they want to learn from you guys? What is the reason they would want to give you an email versus, hey, just sign up for our newsletter. You know, we'll send you some newsletter stuff, and they may not be intrigued in that. But if it's something like, hey, submit your email, your name and your email below, so that way we can, you know, help provide value for your real estate investment path that you go on with upcoming seminars, courses, emails with value in it. You know, just dropping more value bombs in that will probably get more signups and changing that up versus just saying, get our newsletter. So that's one thing I kind of see with people, whether, and it's on their sites too. So if anybody that listens to this has, you know, sign up for our newsletter on their sites, change it up, provide value for them to even get your email in the first place, or for you to get their email. This is your guys's YouTube. Oh, you just got another subscriber.
Let's go. Hey, if anybody's watching or listening, you guys can go ahead and click that button too. Thank you.
Yeah, go subscribe. So you got a good amount of subscribers, 4,400. There's your channel analytics.
A lot of those got pulled over from a fitness channel that I used to have, and then I just kind of kept them as we transitioned into real estate more. Okay,
yeah, I got you. Because so one of the challenges, so nobody really knows YouTube's algorithm. There's a lot of people who have like, I know it. Like, there's been videos that I've had on my because we do storage unit flips and stuff like that too. And there'll be some videos that get hundreds and hundreds of views with no likes or a couple likes and comments. Then there's other ones that have tons of comments and tons of likes with minimal views. So it's like nobody really freaking knows anymore. So, but having something like vidIQ to kind of help with some of the SEO aspects is a great program that I use for our stuff. But what I do notice is that YouTube will see if you have 4,400 subscribers, but your view count is low, they're going to keep your content low on people's radar, because it's basically, and that kind of happens with a lot of social media platforms, is that if you have like, you know, on Instagram, if you have lots of followers, but no engagement, that just kind of tells your algorithm that people follow your thing, but they don't really like your content. And that's kind of what can happen with YouTube. Again, I don't know exactly how they run everything, but that's what I have noticed is you have a good amount of subscribers, but not tons of views. And that's even a problem that I've had sometimes with our other stuff. So I just wasn't posting content as relevant to people, I guess. But it's slowly coming back, right? Obviously, a big thing with YouTube is thumbnails. Because most of the time when people see it, when they're on their homepage, they look quickly at the thumbnails. So like, bam, this one caught my attention right off the bat. I'm quitting this. They'll look at the thumbnail real quick and they'll kind of see online business strategies I quit using, right? So that doesn't pertain to anything I want to pay attention to right now. So, but it helps getting stuff faster. Faces on it, you can see Alex Hormozi. I love listening to his stuff, but he uses his big ass face because his brand is his face. My beard is my brand, apparently, the Beard of Marketing Pro. So you notice a lot of thumbnails have faces because that statistically does pop off more. Smiling faces, that's what people like. Of course, David Goggins just has his fucking scary face up there. One of our videos we just posted, and this is from my Ehrhardt's Adventures channel, has my wife and I, and luckily she's good looking and stuff, so it helps. But the big letters of what people on there, you know, want to learn about: making money with the mandatory units. Started getting a lot more views recently, and it's been a few weeks, so it's had like 100 views in the last couple days because I guess it's doing well. So it's just something to consider on the thumbnails, that's going to get attention first. You have people on there, which is a good, definitely a good aspect of it. But we got to look at why it's not capturing as much attention of your audience.
Yes, we mostly relist our podcasts on YouTube and Facebook. And so I was talking to Dakota about how eventually we would just put all of our podcasts not on the same channel. We would have a separate podcast channel if we got more into YouTubing.
Yeah, and that's okay too, dude. You know, we see Andy Priscilla does it on both, where he'll record the YouTubes and put them up on the audio channel. So it's completely fine to that. It's a matter of how we can just really grab that that initial attention. You know, party bus business, that doesn't tell me like, what is that? You know, again, you got to pass the Justin test, really just a simplified test. Restaurants and real estate, it's pretty decent one. Breakups, divorce, loss, love, faith, and purpose. So I mean, you have it up there, and they're great things. I think there's just some minor tweaks, and it's the other thing too is testing different thumbnails is a great thing. I'll usually have a thumbnail up there for a couple of weeks. Like there's some of them that have like 25, 30, 40 views from our other channel, and I change a thumbnail up to something and it starts gaining more views. So it's all about testing. Do I say like every single video you ever post, tweak it all the time? No, but kind of find that sweet spot of what gets their attention a little bit more. Just like on this, I think this was one of the videos that was on there. Big old faces. See, the smiling faces. We'll buy your home as is. That's pretty damn straightforward. You know, and that passes that simplified test. So sharing that, you can see I got 362 views. It's been, you know, a minute, but still the fact that it's getting views is what is important. I would also, one thing to consider for the thumbnail is we'll buy your home as is, and then maybe have the what is that, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I would put the city or the cities that you're looking for in there, because that'll grab people's attention too right off the bat. Because maybe I don't know if you guys do nationally, like you just start buying up homes all over the country and stuff, but if you do have a specific area, put it right across the bottom part. Because again, they will do the Z on there, right? The call to actions, push play. But they still want to do the Z or the F pattern. So if you have the cities that you focus on, whether it's your guys' stuff or any of your listeners, they have a focused area. Like my wife and I were looking at opening up our third business together coming up, which is in the super early planning stages. But by looking at it, we will be approaching the county a lot more as far as what county we want to target. So when you have that, again, it goes to people like feeling included in what they're looking at. So if they know they live in like our county's Bartow County, if, hey, you know, we'll buy your home as is, Bartow County resident, right? That can be something. It's like, well, I'm a Bartow County resident. I've been thinking about selling my home. That may be getting their attention. So that's how you kind of want to drive thumbnails if you have specific stuff, you know, for the area you're in. So most of the views people do on YouTube are on mobile. They probably won't ever read this stuff. I'm not saying don't include it, but you know, sometimes people, bitch, another subscribe. I just hit subscribe buttons whenever I do this stuff. But whenever you're doing these types of things, people typically won't always look at them. The other good thing about vidIQ too, they have, I think you can get this stuff for free. They do have a paid side of it that I do, but it'll tell you, you know, certain things that are missing to help with it. So, you know, it talks about your guys' channel a little bit too. So that's just something I always recommend people do, because vidIQ is a lot better at YouTube SEO than I am. So I just like looking at their stuff. But do you guys have any questions so far on what I've covered? I know I kind of hit a few different channels or avenues.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So you guys have great reviews. That's good. When I'm looking at the Google side, obviously for people who can't see because they're listening. So the Google Maps is good. Some people don't realize that Google My Business is going away. They're actually getting rid of it and they're transitioning to just straight Google Maps. So that's something to look at. But I love that Google does this, as well as iPhone maps for people who utilize that. And there's certain ways to get on iPhone too, if you haven't, and get that set up. But people, whenever they look at their reviews, they're terrified that they drop below 5. Studies actually show that if you have a 5, you're less trusting than someone that has a 4.5 to 4.9. So sometimes I'm like, man, I wish someone would give me like a 4 rating right now. But the fact that you do have 112 reviews at 5.0 is great. But don't panic if you see your reviews drop to 4.5 to 4.9. People will be like, oh my God, my business is ruined. It's like, hey, it's calm down. It's all right. I don't know why, but people will see that and they're like, wow, they have 4.7 reviews. That's a pretty good place. Oh, they have 5. That's weird. Like, yeah, I don't get people, but
we aren't too scared to get a bad couple reviews, yeah. But we usually just don't piss people off that much to where they leave us a bad review, honestly. And obviously we do things we say we're going to do. So usually we get 5-star and we ask for that at closing. We did get one. You can see right there, we got 1-star review.
Looks like we had a 2-star and a 3-star.
Yeah, so we had a 1-star review from a employee's girlfriend that we had to get rid of, and they were not happy. So
and see, what you guys did too is phenomenal. Like, I'm telling you, if you get reviews, positive or negative, reply to all of them.
Yes.
So if you do get a negative review, people will look at the responses. Just like people hate this. I've worked with real estate agents they hate, and I've been in real estate groups because I like marketing for agents. There's been questions like, hey, when you guys have listings or if you have ads, what do you do with negative comments? And people are like, we block them, we get rid of them, we delete them. I'm the opposite. I want that shit because when people read comments, if they see negative comments, like if you look at any ads that you see for a product, and if there's negative comments and the company doesn't respond to the negative comments, it's typically a red flag. But if you respond to it with, poise and elegance and politefulness and facts, people will respect that a lot more.
Yeah.
So the fact that you did respond to that is great. Sorry we fired your boyfriend, Allison. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, whatever. So, at the end of the day, you guys responded to it, and that's what matters the most. Because if I see even if it's 1-star out of all of it or whatever, people are like, oh, let me go look at the 1 negative comment. Again, negative will be a lot better than positive. It's just, I don't get it. I like positive, but it's how most society looks. They'll look at the 1-star and be like, oh, dang, they got 1 star. Why didn't they respond to it? Versus, hey, you have 148 different 5 stars. So right. It is what it is. But on that, it looks like you have a pretty solid listing. You get people leave reviews, which is great. It's easy. People can click stuff. They can call you. So, it's set up. There's not much else with the Google Maps are, now going away, Google My Business. But you guys have it set up properly. They make it kind of simple. So you share photos, posts, all that good stuff. So you guys are good on that one. This is the Apple podcast for what I'm sure ours will be on. These are really simple because, again, there's not much you guys can change with podcasts. You really want to make it to where people understand from the description of the channel and what it is, right? So you've got ratings, a couple of them. That's one thing I would try to push. I don't know if you guys do or not, but having listeners leave ratings behind is great. Andy with the MFCEO podcast, he said, and what he does now, obviously with Real AF, is that, hey, pay your dues as far as just leaving a damn review. We don't charge for this stuff. We just ask that you go leave a review, share with someone who needs it, blah, blah, blah. So your guys' description, 2 local entrepreneurs, Tony Moore and Dakota Bailey, came together to create a podcast that reflects the highlights of some of their favorite topics, real estate investing. Well, you can change this up. Local to what? Your listeners are probably all over the world. Is it local to India? I don't know. But, just changing that up as far as that, it kind of hit on your target audience a little bit, like how can you relate to them? What people will listen to podcasts when they have topics that are relatable to what they want to experience or what they've gone through or where they want to go. So kind of hitting on that a little bit. I know there's a character limit, I'm sure, on it, but talking about real estate, investing, wealth, and self-development, that's good. But I mean, just minor tweaks, nothing too big on that. I'm just going to look at your last episode with the text on it. Your friend Adam Marino. He's got one of those Ehrhardt last names. Yeah, so I mean, just basically going over it. That's fine. So yeah, whenever you do any type of podcast descriptions, that's also what's going to pop up in searches when people are searching for it. So being detailed is a big thing on it. As far as what you guys talk about to all the way to the beginning to end a little bit, just kind of hitting those notes. And then you guys have all your links in there, so that's all good. But just minor things, nothing big on that. I'll dive into TikTok and Instagram, even though, like I said, I don't have TikTok. Right, I have a real estate of TikTok, I guess, of like my username, but I don't use it. And that's the other thing too. A lot of times people will be like, which social media platform should I use the most? And it can get very time consuming creating content for YouTube, Facebook Reels, live videos, Instagram stories, TikToks. People, they will stop marketing because of how overwhelming it is. So what I recommend is you need to be on 2 platforms. And when I say on it, I mean active on it. At least 2 platforms that you're mainly active, that your target audience sits at. So for marketing, my main one is Facebook. That's where I get all my clients pretty much from I just do organic stuff. But also on LinkedIn is where I make sure consistently trying to get back into being focused on LinkedIn, right? Because that's where a lot of business professionals are. I don't market my services as much anymore because it's mainly word of mouth, and I only work with specific types of clientele now. So I don't need to do all the ads and all that stuff, but I will post on Facebook consistently. I have a Facebook group that I'll drop content in periodically, just to provide value still. So if you don't want to be on TikTok, you don't have to be on TikTok. For any listeners who are always worried about that stuff, but having your digital real estate, as Dan Fleischman calls it, is phenomenal. At least having a spot on there, maybe posting something every now and then if you want, but all the principles of marketing still apply. There's some differences in the content you create for each channel. You're not going to create just text for TikTok, but knowing which type of content, which you guys, it looks like you kind of take some of the content from your podcast. Which one's gotten a lot? So I think they just like your dancing. There you go.
Yeah.
On this one,
people love dancing.
And now I'm telling you, on TikTok, for some reason, like my daughters, I swear to God, if you go in their room at any periodic time, they're watching TikTok or they're on TikTok. Yeah. Obviously, that's not your target audience, 14 and a 9-year-old, but dancing is what gets attention, Yep. So your initial look here, that's what gets you views, by the way. On this one, how that is with your face, that gets people's attention. The weird faces on TikTok is one that I do know that, I'm not saying your face is weird, but just the weird expression you make, that's where people will pay attention to that. They're like, oh, what is this, right? Or if they see a brand they recognize in there. That's kind of the few things I have learned about TikTok. Seeing that shit reminds me of Hoarders, man. Jesus Christ. For that house, did you guys just take a match to it and just get insurance? Damn.
Just sell it to somebody else.
It's not a bad idea, huh? But yeah, so with TikTok, it really is about capturing the attention. People have a very short attention span. You remember Vines back in the day?
Yep.
That was fun, but you had 6 seconds to get something funny across. Yep. The same thing with TikTok. So you have a 5% average engagement rate. So if you start kind of those initial thumbnails grabbing that attention first, that's kind of where you want to improve on that. But that's really the only things with TikTok I know is the initial impressions that you get. And that's what you'll see with these ones, man. It's that you'll see your bigger ones stand out a little bit more. They see a check, watch till the end to see how much this check is profit, right? Captures attention and gets it. And then also doing quick little tips too. Like the reason why this, I think, also went up probably what your second highest was you have numbers, 6 reasons not to accept a year's rent up front. So if you have little tips or segments you guys can, you know, do, say, hey, 5 tips for getting into real estate investing. And just, I mean, you don't have to always do a dance for it, but do quick little things. People will like that because they're like, oh, there's only 6 things I'm going to learn from this. So it's going to be quick. So having that, if you guys test that out, I think that will get you a lot more views too for it. Instagram. I mean, yeah, that's good. I like how your picture does that. I like how pictures on Instagram, because they all have the circle. If it stands out where it's not your typical circle, it gets my attention more. So, yeah, I like how you guys just use it to kind of highlight your success of that and what you guys are doing. So that's really what I like Instagram being used for, just highlighting stuff. I don't use Instagram as much. I'll post stuff occasionally on it. But Facebook, like I said, is where I'm mainly at, my personal page. That's where I thrive a lot more, is Facebook. So that's like some of my target audience there. But I like when people use Instagram to kind of highlight their
mansion we bought.
So yeah, I mean, like people like this, obviously.
Yeah.
It's easy to tell too.
Dude, those take forever. Like, there's not as easy as it looks, because then I want to make sure our numbers are 100% accurate, so we're not lying to people. So I have to do a ton of math. Like, that probably took me, like, for all those photos in that thing, it probably took me like an hour and a half to get all of that done.
Jesus.
And what's funny is, as nice as that one looks, that's the one that we lost the most money on. That's our biggest loss ever.
Yeah, click the other one.
Edit all that one out.
Yeah.
Let's find another one. Where's
there you go.
That's the biggest gain. That's what I like too, is that when you guys share your losses as well, people will see that and they're like, oh shit, like maybe real estate investing is not for me because I don't have $38,600.50. Your math is exact on that. You know, but that's part of what you guys do, right? It's all about providing the experience. People watch your life from a distance, that they can see all this Gucci shit and they're like, wow, oh, this looks so great. But when you share the real life stuff, like part of what we're doing with our storage unit videos is that I'm showing people too, like, hey, you want to know what part of the shitty stuff is? The unit we got today was like 60% going to the dump. You don't see most of these storage war videos saying, here's how much this shit sucks, having to bag it, take it to the dump, blah, blah, blah. But that's part of the experience. I want people to like us because we're real and authentic. So doing that on Instagram is obviously what you guys are doing, and you're doing a good job at it. But, you know, just being consistent and staying on top of it would be a big thing. So I talk about the 5 F's is what I talk about when it comes to creating content. Faith, which is like that motivation, inspiration, just kind of stuff to boost people up. Family is what I post about, obviously my wife or my kids and doing stuff with them. People will do business with people that like them. So if they see that you're doing stuff with your family, and even if you have issues, you know, with family, sometimes posting that, because again, I think social media has created such a massive facade that everyone looks at everyone's life as like, oh wow, everyone's so perfect but me. And the comparison syndrome is really like taking a lot of people in this country down, because they look at their lives like, well, my life's not as good as so and so. They're the best parent ever. Like, no, I want to choke slam my kids sometimes, and it's okay. You know, as long as you don't choke slam them, but wanting to. As long as you don't start the other side. So faith, family, fitness, that's one area I personally struggled with my whole life, is losing weight, gaining weight. So I've been on the gaining side, but now my wife and I, we gotten back into fitness, you know, working out. She had surgeries that we both let her surgeries be the reason why we got lazy. So posting simple stuff like that, like, hey, going on a walk, you know, business owners typically want to do business with people who take care of themselves. And that's one thing I've always preached, but I didn't continue to stay on it myself. So again, it's okay to have screw ups, but getting back up on that track is what you want to do. So posting about fitness, finances, whatever finances your business. So you want to post about your business in, what you're doing to improve your business, how you're serving people, how you make people's lives better. And then last one is fun. So if you do some fun stuff, just, quick little story about that, or posting about the fun stuff you're doing. Because again, show the humanality of a business. Because at the end of the day, you guys are the face of your business in every essence that we've seen so far. So that's the 5 F's I really focus in when it comes to social media. But let me look at. So you guys will notice too, it's kind of annoying. Facebook doesn't like business pages. You'll post some fire content on there and like 2 people will see it. Yeah. And that's really because they are a pay to play platform. So that's why I do a lot of my stuff on my main page, on my personal page. I'll post a lot more marketing stuff on there than I will anywhere else. But
yeah, we try to do both. We try to post it on this page, and then we just share it to our personal. So you kind of get like the co-mingling and stuff, and then like people can see it more. So we kind of share the big things on there.
No, that works. Either posting it separately as individual posts or sharing it from a business will help. And then obviously correlating to your email content with social media content too sometimes will help. But you still get a lot of attention on here, which is great. So a lot of places
Facebook
don't.
I think Facebook is our biggest platform. I'd say where we get the most engagement is Facebook, both on our personal and on this page is nice. Where I'd say like 90% of people probably see what's going on with us.
And that's where you want to double down. So if you guys who, are listening have social media that certain platforms hit harder, focus on that. So if it's like for you guys, Facebook on your personal and your business page, that's where I'd really double down and look at, so if I go to Tony's page, because that's where people are going to first look at you right off the bat, right? Yep. So they're going to see you and they're going to be like, okay, well, what does this dude do? So having this up here, great. Just simple intros on there is phenomenal. If you look into the intro, because again, people are judging you based off what they see on the appearance of it, right? Yep. So if I probably can't do it on yours. But if you go and view your profile as, the public, how the public sees it, or someone who's not your friend, that's what you want to kind of look at. So let me go to mine real quick. I'm going to click view as public, right? So this is as if someone's not my friend. So whenever you see these content isn't available right now, it's something from a private group or a private friend typically. So we post about one of our units that we got today. Again, this will be a video that comes out, but I have right off the bat the things that matter the most to me, right? So my family is really the first thing that you're going to see. Other profile pictures I've had have been, my wedding photos with my whole family, and then stuff about the marketing on there, call to actions on there, and that's fine to have. But I usually like making sure people know how you can help. Trackable links is something I like having to see who's like, how many clicks you're actually getting on it. And then basic stuff about what you do. Do not have in the intro. Like I had one guy, oh my God, he had literally 35 past jobs he's had all down this damn intro thing. His previous employer at BAM for 35 jobs. And I was like, why? But if you have a previous job that's relevant to your target audience, do it. So for instance, when I was in the financial industry, I would have a lot of my target audience that I would go after as military and first responders. So I would have, a former military at Air Force, or former security forces with Air Force. Then I would have former firefighter with Gwinnett County, because that's who I wanted to target. So when they go and see, okay, well, Justin's doing financial services, he's a previous firefighter, previous military, that's kind of someone can correlate with that. So and then, my posts are some of the highlights I have with, like I said, I do content. So one of our recent videos we had and whatnot. So I just kind of keep it like that. But your main thing on your Facebook and your personal pages, you want people to see how you help them and how you correlate. So just a guy who does marketing stuff. People try to make shit so like I return 50 billion likes for $1. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But those are the big things that you could look at. So to wrap this up for you and help you with some of these questions, first of all, do you guys have any questions on what we just kind of went over with all your guys' sites and whatnot, or at least for these ones?
Do you have any questions about our social?
That I can think of now.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that people know how to get a hold of you too. So if you want to go to your Facebook page and then just kind of intro, like where people should look for you if they were going to use you to help them with social.
Yeah, probably just go to my main page that I'm on right now, my personal page. You can go find the Bearded Marketing Pro if you want to just follow the actual agency page itself. If it ever loads, but you can go follow that page. We have a training group that you can link to in the top post as well. But also my main personal page is what I would direct people to, because I post mostly on there. I hit content occasionally throughout here, but my personal page is mainly where we're at for that, and that's the Justin Ehrhardt page right there. So if you look like a creep, I don't add you, but you can just follow me. But that's mainly where it's at, or people can go to my website, your BMP for the beardedmarketingpro.com. And I mean, you just go to the sites and whatnot, but that's mainly where I'm at. Make a message. I do free website reviews. Nothing like this in depth for people all the time, but you guys can kind of see too with mine how it has the logo, name, call to action is mainly I want people to schedule a free consultation, increase your revenue by working with the Bearded Marketing Pro. So again, it passes that Justin test. Like what's the whole point of being here? I want to increase my revenue by working with this guy. Schedule a consultation, get free ebook. So, nice. But at the end of the day, that's the main things, guys. Yeah, you had some questions. What do you need help with? I think it's just updating content on your guys' sites, mainly the one we talked about with your courses, kind of changing those links, those call to actions. I don't think you guys need to hire anybody. If there's certain things you want to add or do that's a little bit out of your scope, I would, you can always reach out to me, and if I don't do it, I'll refer you to someone I know. But that's one thing too, a lot of businesses kind of mess up with, is they're quick to hire versus quick to get guidance. And I have, obviously people pay me pretty good money to do their stuff for them, but I'd rather charge a little bit of money just to give basic guidance. Hey, here you go, make these changes, do this. The biggest bang for their buck, again, it really depends what their goal is. If it is, which platforms to be, if it's just awareness, increasing sales. So it's just going to be kind of dependent on that. I think understanding how people think would give them the best bang for their buck when it comes to marketing. Understanding how the sites can make the changes like simple changes can just really help people. You guys are doing well by posting content and being consistent, whether it is just on Facebook for the most part, where you said you get most of your business at. If you just stayed there and like focus on that, I think that you guys wouldn't really skip a beat and do really well. What should other people copy should do? Consistency is a big one. That's I think a lot of people start social media marketing, but then they stop. And it's okay to have that, but it's a matter of recognizing it and then reworking that. Consistency would be a big one. I already talked about what can be cleaned up and changed. As far as a rating, I don't think there's I don't really give people numbers, but you guys you're passing, if that counts, because you guys' tweaks aren't massive. They're just minor things that I deal with all the time with people. It just comes down to they just don't know because they don't have that. So you guys are probably better than other people that I've dealt with. So at least you didn't have 35 past jobs on there. So I guess that's a plus. I think those minor changes will get you more sales on your course for sure. What do people get wrong about marketing? They usually think marketing is just just something that they do once and they're done, that they put a website together and they're done with it. Marketing is a consistent evolving of a target audience. And what that is sometimes your messages get boring and you have to change that up. So being aware of that, of your messaging, is a big one. And not having a target audience and solving their problems is another thing people mess up with marketing. They talk a lot about in their content about how great they are, how great their products are, or how it's so wonderful, but they never talk about how it's going to solve problems. If you focus on solving problems, people will pay you to solve those problems.
I was just getting on one of my friends about his commercial because I was like, I don't know who your avatar is.
Yeah.
And I don't know what problem you're going to solve.
Yeah.
All I know is how great you are.
Yep. And that sounds wonderful, I guess, but that doesn't help other people. So if you just focus your market on how you're helping people and solving problems, you'll 10x your income just on that. So that would 10x your results. What does it look like when I take on a new client? They go to my site, typically set up a call. I do a 15-minute call with them to find out if I even want to work with them. Because honestly, some people I just don't want to work with. And so I'm pretty straightforward about it. And people don't like it, then they can go leave a 1-star review on Google. I don't care. But that's kind of what it comes down to, right? Is like, when I have my initial calls, they talk about their problems. Okay, well, let me, do some research for them and see if I want to work with them. And then after that, just communicate through email or a phone call, mostly about what I would do to help them and solve their problems. And then, I tell them how much it costs. Most people say I can't afford that, which is okay. I'm not saying I don't work with the cheapest of new startups. My target audience is people who've been in business for a few years. And they have a revenue, and that's what I want to improve. But other marketers will work with anybody. I don't, because I don't want to. So from there, that's when we start doing the work, and I'm very on top of people whenever I'm doing work for them too. So services really depends. Logos usually go from $750 on up because they're really good at them. And we like doing it. Plus, we have packages for content creation, which can range from anywhere from $1,500 to $3,500 because of what we do with it. So, website revamps can be $1,200 to $7,500 depending how big their websites are. So that's the other thing too. Businesses, when they get asked, "What do you charge?" They're like, "Oh, I have to sit down and quote it." I don't. I'll tell you what it ranges from, and if people don't like it, then I don't care. You have to know your worth as a business owner. My time, especially in the summer, is very valuable because I have 3 kids out of school and we do a lot of shit. So if I'm going to take time from going to the lake, it's going to be, costly. So, but great question you asked. How does my business allow me to have a better life? I think, so I was a homeless veteran. I was a typical statistic back in 2015, 16, living out of my car. My marketing business has really been able to help me get a better life because I have what most people don't, and it's freedom. And we always talk about freedom. Most people really aren't free, right? They say they are. I built up a pretty solid business where, as long as I help a consistent clientele base that I have, and it pays really well. And I'm fortunate or unfortunate, if you want to call it that the VA pays me every single month because I have 100% disability. So I have like severe problems thanks to the military, so they pay for it. But the business has helped me really be able to get out of my car and buy a house, which was nice. It's a nice improvement. And then get a new car in case I do end up homeless again. I'll have a nicer car to sleep in. But really, it's been able to, I can spend time with my family and be with them. And that's what matters the most to me at the end of the day. Is business has been able to afford me time with my family, and that's what I like the most. So
cool.
That's pretty much me.
Yeah, so we don't have to go through all the other questions. If there's probably a list. If Tony made it, then there's probably a long list. No,
I'm good with it. I like questions as long as I can help them provide value. So that's what matters to me.
Well, I definitely think that you provided us a ton of value today, and hopefully the other people listening too got some value for ways that you guys can implement this in your guys' own social media or your business or whatever it is. The main thing that our coach always told us too, we work with Ryan Pineda who's like the flipping coach, and he got big on social media through TikTok and all that stuff. And we don't follow all of his advice, but we try to take some of it. The biggest thing that we learned from his was obviously the things that improved our business, which, like you said, you double down on the Facebook, whatever's working, obviously do more of it, because you got to keep your core. And then the Google My Business was a big thing that helped our business explode in the last year, was just asking for consistent reviews. So if you guys are wholesaling, flipping, anything like that, asking the person that you're doing business with for reviews has been absolutely a game changer for us and our company, because people view those, and like it also helps for your like search, and then it helps whenever people are typing it in. So that's been the biggest thing for us. So
yeah, it may not have magnified our influence until maybe year 2.5 or year 3, but lately, because we run TV ads, we send out mailers consistently, and then people go and search for us on Google. Whenever somebody does run across us, they basically just cross out our competition and go, I don't want to work with this guy, or this guy. I want to work with these two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And traditional marketing does have its place. There's a lot of digital marketers that bash traditional marketing. If you have a local based business that you mainly function, like you said, TV ads, billboards is one, especially with the affordability of like companies like Blip that are out there for the electronic billboards. Mailers is still a great way. So traditional marketing has its place. And like you said, also the Google side is phenomenal for local as well. So it has its place if you have a business that is established in an area. So don't discount traditional marketing just because some person said it sucks.
For sure. Well, thanks again, man. We definitely appreciate you. And like I said, hopefully everybody else got some value too.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot for having me. And then, hopefully if anybody needs some help, just reach out.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to sign off.
Peace.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, guys.